So many of our businesses in Victoria have risen to the challenge, particularly in the pandemic, but some businesses have been dealing with the issues of vulnerability for some time. Carol, are you able to give us a little bit of an insight into what you've been doing both this year, but also before the pandemic hit, in terms of trying to improve your capacity to support people with vulnerable people?
So, well, we were very unfortunate to have the bushfires hit most of our region. So it pretty much impacted on every one of our communities. And so for Mallacoota, for example, they had 150 houses actually destroyed in that area. So we were on the front foot very late last year, very early this year. And we've done a number of things for customers, delaying invoices, extending times, allowing a lot of flexibility with their payments and extensions and things like that. Where houses were destroyed, we've removed charges for a long period of time, like 12 months. We've ceased all legal or debt collection action. We've updated reminder notices so they're a softer approach. Instead of the normal red, they're a white notice. So, you know, trying to make it encouraging for customers to actually contact us. And one of the other things we've done is be on the front foot, and we're actually cold calling customers to see if they require assistance in some way. We had set up and organised visits to all of our little communities, and we were staying there for a couple of days to put some money into the economy in those small communities. But we had 16 sessions organised, and we ended up being able to deliver 2 before COVID hit. So we've been going at this since the end of last year or early January, and it's just been a continual nightmare for 2020 for us, trying to assist customers as best we can. Yeah, that's probably it.
Thanks, Carol. It sounds like, I mean, it's been a difficult period in your part of the world, but it sounds like you're coming out of it as well. So hopefully this more direct contact with consumers will be possible in the months ahead.
Yeah, look, we've always been very approachable, and so the customers like coming into the office. So with the office being closed, they're finding it very difficult at the moment.
Yeah, that face-to-face contact is so important, isn't it? Particularly with people who are wrestling with all sorts of vulnerability.
Correct.
Sean, I wondered if you'd be able to give us some insights into the initiatives that Jemina, as an electricity and gas distributor across the country, what you've been doing to support consumers experiencing vulnerability.
Yeah, sure. Happy to, Simon. And look, I guess I've reflected that in these times, it's really never been more important than to start by listening to our customers and not making assumptions about what it is that they need, to ensure that we're not second guessing and we are getting to the core of the issues. You know, we had early on in this COVID period, earlier this year, we established a customer reference group. They were key advocates and stakeholders from, you know, across the community to advise us on customer impacts and potential responses. These were groups like the Australian Energy Foundation, Brotherhood of St Lawrence, you know, Vinnie's, Uniting, the Ombudsman's Office as well. And they've been really helpful in giving us that advice about what some of the underlying issues are. Another piece that we did was collaborating with Deloitte and actually surveying over 900 of our customers as a representative demographic sample of our network when COVID arrived, to see, well, what sort of changes was that driving and how might we respond? And, you know, we found a few interesting insights from that. We found that almost half of those customers that we'd surveyed, you know, had a decline in income and were really concerned about their ability to pay their energy bills. And it was almost 80% that had not been contacted by their energy retailer in the event that they couldn't pay their bills. So this supported us in recognising that many people didn't know how to contact their energy retailer, which is sort of the first port of call. And you know, particularly if they were in the case where they were facing financial hardship. And this formed the basis of the Energy Charters campaign. We had a We've Got You campaign, and Jemina is a member of the Energy Charter. And that was promoted by us, all parts of the industry. And I guess it just had a simple message, which was encouraging customers in trouble, contact your retailer, there's support and arrangements that can be made. But some other things that we've found, people have been struggling with homeschooling, of course, due to being digitally poor. And our business, something we did was donate 300 laptops across through Vinnie's and Brotherhood of St Lawrence to help those people that were struggling through this time. But probably the key concern that we have is that as customers of, people have moved to work from home, there's a lot more activity in their home residence rather than in businesses. We're finding home consumption levels for electricity are around 20% higher than they perhaps were a year ago. And so we've introduced a few things there to respond to what our customers are feeling. We're sending SMS alerts to residential customers where they're consuming over, say, a threshold of 30% more, so that they can be prompted around what their consumption habits are and become alerted to it rather than just get a surprise when the bill arrives. We've also used some analytics to look at customers with historically low usage who've experienced further declines, which may be an indication of further social isolation or disadvantage for some of those customers as well. And I guess one of the things that our survey did tell us was that customers generally have very low energy literacy, and in terms of how they can manage their consumption, 40% believe that reducing their lighting is the best way to make a difference to their energy bill, and another 30% thinks switching off appliances when the socket when not in use will make a difference, and yet they're really just tinkering at the edges when the big things are all about heating and cooling. So what we introduced to support that was advice lines from Uniting and Australian Energy Foundation to be able to help customers understand what they can reduce their energy cost. So overall it's been a really good reminder. Let's go to customers, hear what the key issues are, and then develop the right program to be able to support.